Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this awesome house. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your house. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. So, the first thing that we are going to do is place a row of 8 stripped birch wood in a row on the ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extend backwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then extend to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend inwards by 1. And then right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend towards you by 1 and right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a sideways view like this, and now we want to start extending backwards by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're then going to look back on ourselves once again, and we're going to go right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend towards you, and then right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're going to extend inwards 1. We're going to extend right and line up with the front of the build, and then we're going to extend all the way forward. So, all in all, the end result should look like this, which is a pretty interesting floor plan, I think. So, now that we've done that, we can build up the walls a little bit. So the walls, there's actually quite a lot to do here. First of all, it might be easier for us to simply add 2 rows of birch, 1, 2, absolutely everywhere on top of the foundation. You see, this house does have windows, but it doesn't have loads and loads of windows, and it'll just be easier to add them once we have actually got the foundation built. And I want you to take note of how I'm placing this. A mistake that I actually made with the foundation, like the area that we have just made on the ground, the big shape, is on some parts I kind of like extended sideways like this, so you don't get the separation of the stripped birch. I want vertical rows stacked next to each other, and the only way to ensure that we will get this is by painstakingly placing them like so. You'll be able to see the difference on the side, right? So you can see where we've placed them correctly, and you can see where we have placed them incorrectly. So later on, I'm not going to do it now, I'll do it towards the end of the video because it doesn't matter that much. Towards the end of the video, I'll go back and I will actually make sure that everything has this effect. So the front of the house is actually perfect, that's exactly how it's supposed to look. Okay, grab your white concrete and come to the front left side of the house. I want you to place a row of white concrete on the horizontal row of birch that we have on the front of the build. I then want you to extend backwards. We're looking to extend to this corner right here. We then want to extend this block up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to extend it to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to extend that 6th block back 1, and then to the right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're actually going to join this block down, like this. We're then going to extend that block that we extended down, we're going to extend it backwards, and we are going to place it onto the corner of the frame on the back of the build. We also want to take that top block and we want to extend it to the right, join it in a corner to the front of the build, and equally so join it down. So we want to have a shape which should look exactly like this. And again, it's a bit of a strange shape. And we can actually extend all of the white concretes down. They want to get extended down so that they sit on the birch frame. You will notice that in certain parts it doesn't line up with the frame, so here for instance, and that's perfectly fine. We also want to have the same thing just here on the right side as well. This wants to be filled in using white concrete. We want to do the same to the back part of the house as well, and we will be doing the same to the left side of the house too, so all the way over here. We want to fill all of this in using white concrete too. This will allow us to have a separate room upstairs. So we want to have something which should look like this. I realise it's a little weird looking. It's about to get a little bit weirder though. So on the right side of the build here, we have this row of white concrete. We want to extend the white concrete one row towards us, and then we want to extend it to the right and along the top of the birch frame, so just like this. That's perfect. What we then want to do is we want to add another row of white concrete directly on top of this. So we want to have 2 rows of it in total, just like this. Perfect, and again, ends up being sort of a weird shape. Let's make the porch / entrance area a little bit, because I want to start adding some details in. The entrance to the house is this middle area. You know how on the front of the house we kind of have like these 3 particular walls? Well, the middle of the middle wall is going to have a door in it. Right here. I'm going to place white concrete underneath the door, left and right, and then I'm going to add another row in front of it. I want to make a frame around this using acacia wood slabs along the left and right sides of the white concrete. I'm going to flare the bottom blocks down on the left and right and join them together along the bottom using slabs. Then I'm going to add 2 acacia fence, 1, 2 on the 2 plank blocks, 1, 2. I'm then going to use acacia wood slabs to extend from the white concrete here forwards on top of the fence, and then I want to tentatively join the acacia wood slabs together on the left and right extending forwards. It might even be a nice idea to have them overhang by one as well. That'll probably look a little bit better. What we can then do is we can extend them, the blocks I mean, the acacia slabs backwards to join and connect to the house. I just wanted to start adding some details to the build so that we start getting a good idea of how it's supposed to look, because it was looking a bit like an empty shell. I also want to add a couple of windows whilst we're focusing on this area. Number 1, there's a window on the right here. It's right in the middle of the birch wood area. You can make a 2 by 3 window, and I'm using black stained glass pane because it contrasts nicely against all of the other materials, and I'm using acacia trap doors to frame the window a little bit like this. That's looking pretty good. I want to use the exact same thing on the left side. I want to destroy pretty much just the middle of the birch wood area, and I want to place glass pane. On this occasion, I'm going to place acacia trapdoors only on the right side. You could even maybe cover up a little bit the window to make it look a little bit more like a window shutter that perhaps slides across, and I'm going to have some bamboo here later. So that's looking pretty good. I want a window above where the entrance is here. Again, the window's kind of central to the white concrete area that we placed, so if you destroy a 2x2 square and place some black glass in there, looking good. So we also want a window here. The window is pretty much going to go once again in the middle of the area. So 1 row down, 2 rows inwards, a 2x3 window using a black stained glass pane. There's nothing that really contrasts better against white than black and black than white. I mean, it really does show the window off really nicely. Now, I'm not adding shutters to the right window, although you could. So that's looking pretty good. We've added some detail. The house has a little bit of life now. I want to add more detail. On the left side of the build, where we have probably the longest part of the front part of the house, single longest part, I want to have a 2-window part of the house. So on the left side here, we're leaving a gap of 1. We're going to have a 2x2 window. We're going to leave a gap of 1, and then we're going to have another 2x2 window like this. And we're going to place trapdoors on the left sides of the window, and then we're just going to fill the middle of the windows in using the glass, of course. So this right side we're actually going to leave alone. We're only going to strategically place shutters on that side. This area is actually going to be a porch, and we can place some of it now. So the porch, it starts here on the right side, move 1 row inwards, and place a row of white concrete extending to the left. You want 2 rows of white concrete in total. The white concrete is actually going to extend around the side of the house, like this. And I have to check specifically where it finishes on the back, because we have some porch and stuff to add on the back too. So yeah, on the back we actually build it up a little bit as well. We actually end up having 3 rows of white concrete. Reason being is because this is where the area ends, and as you can see, because the house folds inward slightly, I want to maintain the 2 rows going all the way around like so. And you can even build up some of the frame of this. So I'm going to place acacia slabs on the end of the white concrete. I'm going to place another slab, but then I'm going to flare it upwards and turn it into an acacia plank. And you know what? We can actually make this look a little bit more interesting. We can... No, actually, we'll extend the acacia slabs all the way to the right like this, and we'll just extend it around. Although I'm tempted, this is what I'm tempted to do. I'm tempted to take out some of the white concrete and kind of like just have a 2-row path and go all the way around, and just have it kind of like this, right? Like snake in a bit, and then we can place some hedging or some flowers or something in here later. So we've got something that's a little bit more shapely rather than just a large chunk. So if you just make sure that you've got 1 row that go, or 2 rows rather, that goes all the way around, I think it'll look a little bit more shapely this way. It'll look a little bit better, and it'll just show that there's a little bit more attention to detail. We're placing the walkway all the way around. We want to place acacia slabs on the end of the white concretes like this. Gonna place some acacia fence on top of the acacia slabs and the acacia plank, and this will just kind of like frame it a little bit again. So it just looks nice this way. I want to place I want to place white concrete on top of the birch wood as well. And if you wanted to, you could even add windows on the back. You can add them equivalent to the front, although they won't look quite the same. And if you're going to do this on the back, I would mirror the shutters that we have on the front. If you guys can remember, we have shutters exclusively. On the front it's the left side, but on the back it works out to be the right. So if you want, you can mirror that, and I think it'd look pretty good. On this side of the build as well, we can add a roof. So the roof is made out of acacia wood slabs. It starts along the left and right sides of the white concrete areas like this. The roof overhangs by 1 row, and then you guys all know how to do this. You simply extend these slabs inwards and upwards until they eventually connect together in some sort of way. So in this particular occasion, unlike above the entrance area, the slabs meet in a 2-block, like they join 2 blocks together, and that's perfectly fine. So we're going to extend all of those blocks backwards. We're going to make the frame of the roof on the back of the build as well. We don't have to do it equally from both sides on the back, because we already see how it ends up. I believe that ends up there, and we just want to join it to this part of the build. We could even have it on the back. No, we can't, because we have different plans actually, but I was going to say that we could even have it overhang an extra row and join onto the house, but again, different plans. So I'm going to fill underneath the roofs in using the white concrete like this. I'm going to extend the blocks that I can extend backwards, I think that will do for the side parts. And then we simply want to take the plank areas, and then we want to take the remaining slabs, and we just want to extend them back, and we want to join them together. It will look really, really nice. I really like the color palette as well. There's something about the beige, the orange, and the white, and then with the accented black windows, it really does just... There's something nice about it. Like, we have 3 nice colors. Like, we've got like a vibrant color with the orange. We've kind of got like a neutral tone with the beige, and white, I mean, is kind of ambiguous. Like, you could consider it a bright color, but then it's also very neutral as well. And then we've got like the black windows just to kind of like tone everything down a little bit. I really do like it, and you can see that really brings the house together, just adding a little bit of detail over there on the left. So what can we do on the right side of the build now to kind of like bring everything up to par? So we could add the roof. Yeah, I guess we could add like the main roof. So the main roof is actually built in the same way as all the other roofs. Surprise, surprise. It's a row of acacia slabs that extends from in front of the most front point of the build. So basically, like the most outward point of the front of the build, we want to extend a horizontal row of acacia slabs that overhangs the left and right side of the build by 1 row as well. So it pretty much overhangs 1 row in every respect. And then we just connect them together front and back like this. So just upwards and inwards. That's all you gotta do. And they will eventually, I want to say that they join as a 2. I was wrong, they join as a 1. And you fill underneath the roof in like this using your white concrete. You want to do an equivalent row on this side. Make sure it's the same, because I'm pretty sure they will join in the exact same way. So it will require the exact same amount of covering up. And we will just have something that looks really, really cool. We are going to add one... Yeah, there we go, nice. And we will add another little bit of detail as well, in that we are going to add a chimney on the left side of the build. So we can add the acacia planks here. So basically, any planks that you can extend, you extend the planks, and any slabs that you can extend, you of course extend these slabs. I'm pretty sure I've said that already, but you know, I guess I like to repeat myself. What can I say? And then we want to add another row of slabs. There we go. Oh, my bad. There we are. So yeah, the roof looks really nice like that. And then on the left side, I want to add a chimney. The chimney, I'm going to have the like, you've got the middle row, right? And then I'm going to have the row next to the middle row also be the chimney. So I don't just want a single block chimney. I'm actually going to extend it so it's 1 row upwards, up above the house, destroy the blocks 1 row inwards, and then we'll just have something which should look like that. So it is just a little bit of detail. It looks really nice. I like how it looks that way. So this part of the house as well, this is a little bit different. Okay, so this part also has a roof. The roof begins on the first row of white concrete that we have here. The roof is made out of acacia slabs, of course. It sits on the upper half of the first row of white concrete, and we want to extend these slabs inwards and upwards until they line up with the center of the window on the front of the house. We will then extend the roof like down and in. It'll actually connect to the porch like this. We want to have the same effect on the back of the house. So on the back of the house, we want it to be the same shape, but it won't look the same because it can't go as far. And we're going to have kind of like a porch here. So you can see that it looks a little bit strange, but I want to point out that we want to place acacia fence along the side of or along the top of the white concrete, not along the side really. And then you can, how shall we do this? Because, yeah, I guess this is a balcony, okay? And what I'm deliberating in my head is whether to have the floor of the balcony here or 1 row above. Now, logic would say that probably like where the fence line is, otherwise it's kind of like sunken in a little bit. So I'm gonna do that, but it doesn't matter which you actually choose ultimately. Like from a design perspective, I mean, not really that much. So I'm actually going to have it even and level with the fence. I need a door to come in here, so like I'll just have a little door just one row away from the right. I could even have a double door, it doesn't even matter. A little window here, I want the window to be the same as the window just here on the left, so we don't need to have any shutters, and it just looks good like that. There's no reason to add anything else to there. Now that we've done that, I suppose that we should head to the back of the house. We're rapidly approaching the point where we've added a lot of detail in here. So on the back of the house, we need a back entrance. The back entrance is over here on the left. We're going to leave a gap of 2 from the end, and then we'll have a door. So the reason that I've chose this area for the door is because you can see it's equivalent to where we have the door on the front of the house. So I'm just going to place a door here. And we have to have windows as well. So we're going to have windows in a few different places. So this right area here, I want to leave a gap of 2 between the window. It's actually a gap of 3. A gap of 3 between the door. The upper row of the door, leave a gap of 3, and then I'm going to destroy a row of 1, 2, 3 like this. Actually, you know what? We'll do it this way. We'll leave a gap of 2 between the door, destroy row 4, and then we'll have a gap of 2 on the right. Then we'll destroy the row above. We want to leave a gap of 2 above this window, and then we want to have the same window up above just like this, right? And then we're going to leave a gap of 2 between this window, and then we're going to have a little 2x2 window as well, which lines up with the window on the front. I'm going to place shutters aside the large windows on the left and the right. However, the small window, I kind of like the continuity of the little window that we have here. You'll see that we have a window here in the same position horizontally and the same on the front, and none of these have shutters, so I kind of like the consistency of having no shutters on those particular 2x2 windows. It changes things up a little bit. It's a very, very small detail, but a detail nonetheless. I also want a window here on the left side. I'm just going to take the middle of this area. I'm going to destroy it the same as we have on the front. I'm going to place the glass, and I can't remember whether I placed shutters. I did indeed, so we're going to have these shutters on the back as well. Again, continuity. So yeah, that's looking pretty good, and the back of the house looks alright like this, but we can make it look a little bit better. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to come to the right hand side here where we have it's not really a porch, it's kind of just like a walkway, and we're going to extend the acacia fence here on the end of the porch up by 1, and then we're going to place an acacia plank on top of this, and we're going to extend the acacia plank to the left. And we're going to do that using acacia slabs. We want to extend it all the way to the left until it would join to the overhang of the window. We will flare the slab down into a plank and then join it to the ground using acacia fence like this. And then we're going to, how will we do the rest of this? Well, okay. So then we want to separate it a little bit. I'm not quite sure how I want to do this precisely. I kind of want it evenly. I think it works out that if we leave a gap of like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place a fence, and then a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if we place a fence again, or maybe if we leave, the middle row maybe can be bigger, we'll have a gap of 5. So we'll have a gap of 4 on the right, we'll have a gap of 5 in the middle, and a gap of 4 on the left. And then we can extend the fence upwards. We'll have to join it to the top here, using a slab though. So here and here, like this. And then you can, if you want, then extend the... You can extend the acacia slabs inwards, like this. Oh, my bad. So here, and then we're going to have to place some here. Ruin the window a little bit, but it's okay. And then fill the top of this in, and then you've got yourself a nice little porch. And I like the idea on the back, at the very least. I like the idea of having kind of like a nice little foundation of the... Can I... Actually, I might have to use a different material. So I'll tell you what, because it's actually a personal choice, we have made the entire house, ladies and gentlemen. The entire house is done, the structure's done. All that's left is for you to decorate the outside in any way, shape or form that you want. The structure of the house is there. What you want to add for a garden is completely up to you, but I am now going to go away. I'm going to clean up the outside of the house a little bit. I'll add a little bit of a garden just so it looks a little bit presentable. And then if you like, you can copy that garden for yourself. I promise it's not going to be difficult, so you'll be able to do it quite easily just from what I'm about to show you coming up next. And this is what the house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. On the back of the house, since I guess we're here now, I have added flowers in between the little indent in the porch just to make it a little bit more colourful. I have added the actual birch wood faced upwards to create kind of like a cool textured area underneath the porch, so you could have multiple things under here, but I didn't actually want to crowd it. I wanted to leave it quite open, and I added a little vegetable patch here on the left. Those are actually beetroots. For the scaffolding, for the balcony, that's the word that I'm looking for, I have a little seating area, a potted plant, and a little bit of a barbecue. It really ties that portion of the house together quite nicely. And for the front, I simply added a hedge along the right side with a nice little pond here, just a bit of sand, some lily pads, some stones in the form of pressure plate, and an actual button. And on the left side here, I have some bamboo grown up the kind of like blank part of the house. I actually used, that is some sort of new nether plant. I actually don't know the name off the top of my head, but I actually really like it. It doesn't look very nethery at all. And for the entrance, I added a couple of lanterns, a doorbell, and a potted plant just underneath. And I think it really does just tie the build together, and now it's completely ready to have an interior. And that's it. I do hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me the channel out very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.